everyone, this is Marvin, and today we talk about shortcuts in VS Code. This is a way which saves me tons of hours in developing time, because in the end you don't need to use the mouse rather than using keyboard shortcuts, which makes you way faster in coding. You don't have to scroll through your files that often, you don't have to mark something with the cursor, you don't have to go through the list of files, navigating through them, open folders. That's way more easier when using shortcuts, and I will show you how. The first thing is the command palette, and you can make it show up by clicking Command Shift and P, and from here you have options to change settings in VS Code, you can format your document, you can attach a debugger, open a new terminal, and many more things. And pretty important to mention, it also gives you all the commands which are delivered with your custom plugins you are getting for VS Code. So whenever there's a custom command which is coming from a plugin, it will also be findable here, and you can execute it from here. We also have Command and P, which is for opening files, and I can just look for logo.png. I found it over here, hit enter, and it's opening my new file. When I click Command and W, it's closing this file. I wanted to open it once again because I wanted to show you something cool as well. When I click Command and backslash, it's opening a new window side by side. So it's opening a new window so I can do split view editing. And when I hit that once again, it's opening a third window. When I wanted to jump through these windows, then I can just hit Command and the number of the windows. So Command and 1 is selecting the first window, Command and 2 is selecting the second, and Command and 3 is selecting the third one. When I wanted to close one, then I can just hit Command and W to close the window. And whenever you want to get some more space for editing, you can toggle the sidebar. You can do that by clicking Command and B, and this gives you a lot of room for editing your code. And whenever you wanted to see the sidebar once again, you click Command B, and here we go. You can search for things by just hitting Command and F, and it's showing you a menu where you can type in something you're looking for. Whenever you hit enter, you select the next occurrence, and there is also something to select all of the occurrences. It's Option and Enter, and I select every occurrence. So sometimes you also wanted to do block comments, especially when you're programming, and you can do that by hitting Option, Shift and A for adding a block comment. Hey, this is a comment, and when I press that once again, it's removing the comment. We also have something which is called go to definition, and when I'm here at stopwatch, I selected stopwatch, and when I now click F12, it's jumping straight to the definition of my stopwatch. And this is also pretty useful for all kind of functions you wanted to check out. Let's say I'm over here, and I wanted to see where start stop is defined. I'm just hitting F12 and it's jumping straight to the method. The next thing is about showing the autocompletion. Normally it's just showing by default when you begin to type, but sometimes it could happen when you edit something in the middle of the line that it's not showing up. Like this. And whenever I wanted to toggle the autocompletion, then I can just hit Control and space, and here we go, and I see the autocompletion once again. We also have refactoring options, which are highly dependent on which programming language I'm programming in, but for example here I'm using a Vue.js project, and when I hit Control, Shift and R, it's showing me all the refactoring options we have over here, which you can execute from this menu. And we also have Command and J for toggling a terminal, which is sometimes pretty handy. We also have options to move lines around. So what we can do is we can hit Option, Shift and down or up to just duplicate the current line. We can also hit Option and up or down to move the complete line to another place. So arrow up is moving it up, arrow down is moving it down. We can also delete complete lines, which you do with Command, Shift and K, and then the line just got deleted. And we can also copy or cut lines, which you do with Command and C or Command and X. and whenever I go to a different place inside my file and hit Command and V, I can paste the previously cutted line. I'm pretty sure you know that when you hit enter, you just start a new line. That's a pretty easy one, but you also can do a new line above. So when you click Command, Shift and Enter, it's inserting a new line above the current line. I'm pretty sure all of you know when you use your arrow keys, you can just navigate through the text. And when you hit Shift, meanwhile, you can select the text. There is also something called syntactic blocks, which is basically things which are belonging together, like variable names or strings. And when I hit Option, Shift, and using my left or right arrow key, I'm selecting syntactic blocks. So this is a little bit faster. When you wanted to select the whole file, we can use Command and arrow up or Command and arrow down to go through to the start or the end of the file. And when I hit Command, Shift, and then arrow up, it's selecting the whole file. And the other way around, when I'm somewhere at the beginning of my file, I'm hitting Command, Shift, and arrow down. It's selecting everything from my current cursor position until the end of the file. Then we also have options to select all occurrences of one word. That's pretty cool as well. One thing we can do is we can hit Command, Shift, and L, and then we're selecting everything which is called components. But we also have another option, which is Command and D, which is just selecting the next occurrence of a word. So in this example, stopwatch, when I'm hitting Command and D once again, it's selecting the second occurrence of stopwatch, the third, the fourth, the fifth. And now I'm having multiple cursors over here, and I can just edit the text. And I just need to hit Escape to exit from this multi-cursor mode and coming back to my single cursor mode. So we also can add new cursors when we click Command, Option, and up or down. And this is just spawning a new cursor at the line below or at the line above. But if you wanted to do it with the mouse instead, we can also use Option and then just clicking to spawn a new cursor. And then we can select whatever we want with holding Shift again. When you wanted to exit, as mentioned before, you just hit Escape, and then we are at single cursor mode once again. Sometimes you wanted to transform the text. For example, this name over here, I wanted to have it in uppercase letters, and for this you open the command palette with Command, Shift and P. You type in uppercase, and here we find transform to uppercase. I hit enter, and now it's making my name in uppercase letters. There's also something to join lines, which basically just removes the end of the line. When I hit Ctrl and J, you can see that we're joining lines together. And there's also something to intent or outtent lines. So when I click Ctrl and the square brackets, I can intent or outtent my currently selected line. You can also select multiple lines and do the same, and it's intent or outtent the whole selection. And that was it from this video. I hope you learned something new, and I bet you are way faster in programming right now when you're trying to use those shortcuts.